Good morning.
Good morning. How's it going today?
It's been busy so far. So.
I know the feeling. Was at the council meeting last night till 10:30 or so, and I had an appointment at 7 this morning. So not a lot of hours in between.
Wow.
Yep. Well,
I hope things went. Did things go well for?
it did ultimately go well. It was a long meeting, 4-hour meeting,
Yeah.
2 hours of public comments. But the outcome was really basically reaffirming the decision, which was important.
Right. That's good. Good to hear. So,
Morning.
good morning, everyone. So, I suspect that we should have 3 additional members of the commission, plus myself. The commission has a new legal format where I'm actually a voting member. So as long as 3 other folks are able to join us, we'll have a quorum and we'll be able to proceed. And I did check this morning that we should have folks here.
Morning, everybody. Hi, Pamela.
Hi.
Thank you for doing this.
No problem.
You're smiling today, Sharon.
I do have a little bit of an extra
You
pep in
do.
my step.
Good for you.
As
Mm.
tired
You
as I
should.
am. And can I say, Bob just completely knocked it out of the park. Wow.
Awesome.
All the guts, none of the glory. And off the record and on the record, if I could get Bob's name on the plaque as opposed to somebody else's, I'm going to advocate for that.
There you go.
That's okay. I don't need that.
I know you don't.
Nope.
Hi, Elise.
Hi. Sorry, I'm a little late.
Oh, you're just on time. And, so Elise had emailed me that she was having trouble getting with the Zoom link. And I heard from at least one other person, but I just tried to resend them. So I'm hoping that Myra and Jim don't have any issues getting in, but I will.
No. Once I got it, it was easy.
Okay.
Thought I was going nuts. I thought, wait a minute. What do we have?
So I. All right. Well, I will send a quick email to. Oh, Myra just sent a message that she's trying to get in. So. I'm going to go off screen for a second.
Sure.
What did Bob have to do last night?
He certainly answered a ton of questions, but leading up to the meeting last night, he worked all weekend long on facts and figures. And then Paul really, he put together this presentation and he knocked it out of the park. It was
awesome.
It was a really good meeting.
Great.
Here's Jim.
Yeah. Hi, Jim.
Hello.
Hey.
So I'm going to ask Philip, my colleague, to join this for us. And I'm going to jump off for a minute so I can resend the link to Myra, who's having trouble. So as soon as Philip gets there, I don't want to close down until he's able to join. Let's see.
It's actually hot here. How is it where you all are?
Beautiful, 62 degrees.
It is perfect, isn't it?
I have the dog outside on the balcony.
Oh,
She loves it. She's been begging.
that's a happy puppy. Absolutely.
Oh, very happy. I'm happy I got a place that has a balcony.
Yes, yes.
This is wonderful. Mm.
It's weird to go from, snow on Saturday and really cold weather on Sunday to, 65 and
bizarre.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. I can't wait to put the down coat away.
Yes. Yes.
I can't
I-
stand it. Yeah.
I finally put the shovels away this weekend.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh, no. I'll take this all year. I just love it.
all year. Yeah.
I won't get anything done.
That's cute.
I'll be out on that balcony.
Yeah.
Uh, Good excuse to sit and read library books
It's
On the balcony.
true.
on
Yes.
the balcony. Yeah.
With a glass of ice water or lemonade. Yeah.
I blame you guys for my procrastination.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I'll take that. I'll take
I
that.
can't get lost in a story and oops.
Yeah.
All right, my apologies. Philip is also having trouble logging in, and I cannot close down this meeting. Or I could close down the meeting, but I don't want to do that
You
until
could
he
make me the
Host, yeah.
co-host.
Yeah, there he
Oh, there's
is.
Philip.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna leave Philip in and I'm gonna pop out and see if I can help Myra get in.
Okay.
Morning, Philip.
Good morning.
Morning.
Technology and cars. They're both awesome until they're not.
Yes.
Oh,
Right. Yes.
Although my IT guy, anytime I have an issue, he very politely and sweetly reminds me that it's 99% user error. Okay, what have I screwed up now?
His first question, did you shut off the computer,
Yes,
reboot it to
Yeah.
see what
right.
happens? Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
there you go.
Oh, yeah.
It's
And
always
it's-
such a easy question, and sometimes it really is that, and then sometimes you're like,
Yes.
of course I thought of that. Why would I not think of that?
But that
Or
shouldn't
the-
be the answer, though. I shouldn't have to turn it off to make it work.
Or that whirling circle of rainbow circle. Do you ever get that?
Uh, you mean no?
Oh, I guess that's from older computers. I used to would be when mine was giving me trouble or freezing or anything that this rainbow colored circle would
Oh,
just
yeah, the spinning wheel of death,
spinner.
we call it.
yeah
Endless.
that I used to get that. Nope.
How much snow did you guys get on the weekend?
For me, so I'm in the northwestern part of the state, a couple inches.
Yeah.
My sister is in the Worcester area and she got 4.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Crazy.
Goodness.
That's crazy. We didn't get any. I'm just outside of Boston.
Oh.
We didn't get any, but it was not nice.
Not, it was cold.
Nasty.
Yeah.
I think it covered the grass areas,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but not the sidewalk.
Yep.
And here's Myra.
Hi, Myra.
I don't know if you can hear me, can you?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay, I had to go in on my phone. The link on the computer is taking me to a song, which is odd.
Oh,
That doesn't sound like a bad thing, actually.
Oh, it depends
I
on
was
the
just about to
song.
ask,
If you
was it
like
a
it or
good
not,
song
I
at
don't know.
least?
I didn't listen. I was just like, this is not right. Okay, so I'm on my phone.
got it.
So we have a quorum, I hope.
Um,
Pamela?
We
Yeah, as soon as Pamela jumps back in, then a quorum should be present, I believe, for you all.
Cody said he would be there, be here. Elise said she would be here. I don't know who's here.
Yeah.
Pamela, I think that he couldn't make it.
Oh,
But-
well, we
but
have Elise.
And Jim
and
is here.
Pamela, And Jim is here, so we have a quorum.
And Pamela.
We have a quorum. Okay. Pamela
Yeah.
counts now. So,
Yeah.
okay, cool. So we should call this meeting to order. I don't know where Pamela is.
She is, I believe, jumping back on.
She's probably
she-
trying to get a link to me, which is very odd. This whole thing has been very odd.
Give me one
I-
second. It'll take me a quick second to walk over there.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That was very strange. Every
couldn't
time
get
I
in
tried to
either.
get in, the thing said, thank you. And then it was a song called Thank You.
Thank you.
And that was when I tried to get in from my browser. The other way, I couldn't get in at all.
Well, that was nice and polite of it to thank you.
Well, Zoom keeps changing its interface and a lot of blind people are having trouble with it now. So I'm not sure what that's all about, but anyway, every time you go in there, there's a different screen you have to figure out.
Myra, Pamela is in the meeting now.
Cool.
All right, so
Pamela, I'm sorry I got here. I'm on my
no.
phone.
That's all right. No problem. I'm gonna read the beginning intro and then we can get started. And I apologize for the delay.
Well, it's my
So-
fault. Sorry.
No, it's yeah. So the Commission for Persons with Disabilities will meet virtually on Tuesday, April 15th. Pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2025, extended through June 30th of 2027. The ability of public bodies to meet in a fully remote or hybrid manner. Members of the public who wish to access the meeting may do so via Zoom or by telephone. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. So to establish a
Thank you.
quorum, Myra, would you like to do the roll call?
Sure, we have Elise Link.
Yep.
Just say here.
Here.
Pamela Young.
Here.
Who do we have? We have Jim Crinier. Here. And Myra Ross here, so we have a quorum. So we can deal with our agenda, which is great. So we have, do we have anyone besides Sharon? Do we have the architect? Or just
Yes.
Sharon?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
So,
This
Sharon,
is
do you
great.
want to have everyone introduce themselves?
Yeah, sure.
Fabulous.
So I'll hand it on over to FAA and then to Bob Parent is also here.
So I'm here, Ellen Anceloni, principal with Feingold Alexander Architects. And I think we've met with you guys a couple of times, so it's nice to see everybody again. Josephine.
And I'm Josephine Penta. I'm the project manager of this project. I'm also with Feingold Alexander. And yes, nice to see everyone again.
Cool, thank
And
you for
good morning.
coming.
Bob Parent with the town of Amherst. I think we've met a couple of times in a
Yep.
couple of different projects over the last year or two. So good to see you again.
Yep. Thank you for coming. Okay, so there seems to be a problem with the staircase that they have identified. Is that what the issue is?
Yeah, I can just dive in. So there's a historic stair which you are all familiar with, I'm sure, as you enter the front of the library, that it's the stair in the essentially the lobby that we are aiming to keep because of its historic value. And it is one of the thank you, Josephine. We have some photos. And you may
that
be
one.
familiar with, yes, that one.
Okay.
So it's an important, it's one of the pieces that we are keeping intact in the current library design. So we're looking for your support to go and get a variance to keep this stair. And Josephine, if you want to take it from here and give the folks a little more detail on why we need the variance.
Sure. So if everybody can see the screen.
No,
These are just some
everyone cannot see the screen, so You'll have to describe it.
Okay,
Well, I just want to make sure the correct monitor is displaying.
Okay.
But are
yes,
there
it is.
images? Okay, great. So these are images here on the screen. There are images of the front entry at the Jones Library. This front entry piece has this existing main stair, this historic main stair. And,
can I
as-
interrupt and ask you to
Sure.
move your mouse very more slowly? Because I am legally blind and can't see
Sure.
things quick. Thank you.
Yes, no problem.
Okay.
So this stair here that I'm pointing to, this is the existing main historic stair that we're talking about today. We are trying to retain this stair as its current state, and also along with that, other historic elements in this main lobby. As you might notice, there's some millwork here, wood paneling on the walls, and trim around the doorways, and we're trying to retain all of this in its current state. So to go back to the stair, we're going to pull up the floor plan just to show you the arrangement of this existing stair and what we are proposing in the addition, and a little bit more detail on this variance. Per Massachusetts codes, there's a number of codes that we have to comply with, and one of them is the MAB. That's the Massachusetts Architectural Access Board. And along with that, there's a few items in that code that we have to meet. And this variance is basically going to help us not have to make those changes because we have other stairs in this floor plan that comply with the code.
We don't see the floor plan, Josephine.
Oh, sorry. There, I'm stuck.
Do you want to just point out the stair we're talking about?
Yeah.
for folks?
So this is existing stair is right here. If you can see my cursor. It's
No.
blue. It's
Okay, yeah.
colored blue. And this is the main entry right here. And so this existing stair here is the one in our discussions for today. We did highlight other vertical circulation elements in orange. Those are all new pieces. And so the only one that's in blue is the existing one to remain. And so there's a few elements on the stair that don't comply with that MAB code. One of them is the rail height. The mounting height of the rail has to meet a certain number, and we don't currently meet that. The other is the size and shape of the rail. It doesn't comply with the outside diameter that we would need to meet to comply with code. And then another piece is the rail extensions. There has to be rail extensions at the top and bottom. So the handrail itself does not meet the code at all. So we would be required to most likely add a new handrail on both sides of the stair. One would be attached to the wall, the other one would be inboard of the existing historic rail. The other piece that doesn't comply are the nosings at the stair tread and rise, where the stair and tread and riser meet. So I think those would have to be reconstructed. So
So
the
what's a
pieces,
nosing?
the
nosing
nosing
is
is
a little, like a little flap on the bottom that keeps you from your
The-
foot from
yeah.
going through.
So the nosing is kind of at the corner of the tread and riser, where the tread and riser meet. The code
An
requires,
overhang.
yeah, it's an overhang, and the code requires dimensions on that overhang. And most older buildings don't have nosings that meet that compliance.
So
And
it's too big or it's too small?
too big.
Got it. Okay.
So those are the
So
elements
can
that,
I put this in like real people terms instead of architect terms?
sure.
So the spindles on the stairs are not tall enough is number one. Number two, they're too far apart. And number three, the overhang on the tread is too big. Are those the three things?
So the handrail itself doesn't meet the size and shape it needs to be.
because,
What does it
Um,
mean?
It's too
So
big.
the handrail needs to be between 1.25 and 1.5 inch diameter. And so it doesn't meet that dimension.
the rail,
The rail
that you
itself,
mean the rail that you hold on to
The
yes,
handrail.
when you go up
yes.
has, so it has to have a certain width and it doesn't? It's too narrow or it's too wide?
It's too wide.
Okay. Okay, so it's too wide and the rail is not high enough or it's too high?
It's too low.
It's
Yeah.
too, okay, okay. All right, so okay, I get it. It's too low and you're saying that it doesn't extend far enough on the bottom or the top for people to use it to know where the staircase ends. Is that
Oh, I
correct?
see it now. Yep.
That's correct. There's
Okay.
supposed to be at the top a 12-inch extension and at the bottom a 12-inch plus the dimension of the tread extension. So
It does not extend. No, I see the bottom step. There's nothing to hold on to.
The bottom
That's
step
correct.
is
Right.
further out, right, okay.
Yeah.
So there are 3 non-compliances is what you're saying? The extensions on the top and bottom, the height of the rail, the width of the rail, having to do with the rail, and the tread sticks out too far, so allegedly, if you're climbing this step, you could get your foot stuck in it and fall forward. Is that the issue? Is that why
Yes.
they make
Yes.
the rule that way?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, I
okay,
get it. I see it. Yeah.
okay, okay.
But one thing we should point out that this stair will, the idea, we're hopeful we can keep it intact. But we don't see it getting used very much because we're introducing 3 new stairs, right? And an elevator that's brings you to every floor in the library. So we don't see
Oh.
this being used as much. And if you can, Josephine, just point out the stairs that you've got them labeled A, B, C in
Yeah.
A, B, and C.
Sure. So stair C goes to every level. So
Where
that is
is,
one.
where is there?
Where's C?
Right here.
Okay, so could you describe where C is?
Yeah, sorry about that. So as you enter the main lobby where we were, if you keep
Yep.
going straight, it's directly to your right within the existing building footprint.
It's adjacent to that existing stair. It's probably 10 feet, Josephine, 15
10
feet
feet
from
north.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
that,
right.
that staircase curves to the right. There's a right angle at the top. And so you're saying that the hallway at the top of it there, that is pretty much where the other stairway comes in?
When you're at the second floor?
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. I mean, I've been up that stairway a million times. So I mean, you go in straight from the door, you make a right turn somewhere in the stairway and you get to a, a stair. So it's going to be pretty obvious where the other stairway is when you walk into the building.
So this stair
Yes.
is new, so it's not the exact same location where the existing stair is. And this stair is directly off that main lobby. So it's easier to get to.
But it's going to be
Um,
obvious.
Yes.
There'll be
Okay.
signage and there'll be,
Yes.
yes. And keep in mind, and I mentioned it 2 minutes ago, is that, and I don't want to over promote this, but there is an elevator that brings you to every level of the library. So that we're
Right.
seeing that as something that opens up easy access to every
Okay,
floor.
so for me,
every
it's
area.
not, that's not the issue. For me,
Okay.
the issue is if you walk in the front door and you can't see that there's another staircase, but you can see that there's a staircase 5 feet ahead of you, right, on the other side of the door, you're likely to try to go up that staircase if you don't know, if it's not pretty obvious to you that there's another staircase.
Mm-hmm.
So
Understood.
for me, the issue is if we can, I mean, you're saying pretty much this is an ornamental staircase in the new plan.
Yes, but it's usable. It's still,
Right.
if you used it last week, you
Right.
can keep using it when we reopen.
Right. Okay, I get that. I like the staircase. I don't want you to take it out. I'm not talking about that. I'm
Okay.
worried about it as an attractive nuisance to people who don't know that there's another staircase, because when you walk in the front door, it's right in front of you. You can't barely get in there without tripping on the staircase. So, I mean, not literally, but you know what I mean.
Understood, yeah.
So if you don't know when you come in that there's another staircase, is there any liability for the library or anything because the things don't conform? Because they've been determined to be, I mean, the AAB made the rule, tripping up the stairs. I don't know how many people have done it. You do it in your own house, whether it sticks out far enough or not, so I'm just saying that, and going up the staircase and coming down, if there's, well, you wouldn't come down because you've already gone up, so there's another way to get down. I'm just worried about whether people are going to be, you can't say that it's not going to be used, because it will be.
Right.
If it's
I wasn't-
there, people are going to go up it.
Myra,
think
I'm sorry, Ellen,
Myra.
let me just interject. Myra, I love
Yeah.
exactly what you're saying and where you're going with this,
Okay.
with your thought process, because that's exactly the problem that we're trying to solve now, is that if you're new-ish to the library, you walk in and you see this set of stairs and you want to
Right.
get to the third floor, so you take
Right.
those stairs and they don't
Right.
they don't go to the third floor. So you're absolutely right. But the benefit now is this new staircase, the code compliant one, is within eyesight of the historic staircase.
Okay.
It's very close to the front existing small elevator. And so it opens right onto that main hallway. So yeah, when you walk in, you are able to see not only the historic staircase, but also this new code compliant one. And, we'll have like flashing lights and everything, so people know that's the staircase they should go to.
Okay, because I can see that as a,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a beautiful staircase and the woodwork is beautiful and it should stay, but the problem is that it is a non-compliant staircase. They'll probably tell you need to have signage on the staircase of some kind that says this is not an accessible staircase, or it doesn't go to the third floor, or whatever you want to say. Because once you've done the job, you have to be in compliance with the code,
Mhm.
right? I
Yeah.
mean, even if you got a variance to build it or to leave it, you're gonna have to indicate that it's not compliant. I mean, is a kid gonna do something stupid that they didn't already do? Probably not, because that staircase has been there for 100 years, and whatever a kid did that was dumb has already been done, right? They'll do it. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yes.
You can go flying over the staircase if you want to, if nobody's watching you, but they could have done that in 1940 and they could have done that in 1980. And once you do the renovation, then you're in a different ballgame because you've certified that it's that it's in compliance. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Understood. Yeah,
Okay.
the stair has seen a lot of things over the years.
I'm sure. It's an attractive nuisance.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you propose? You just want us to do what?
We were looking to get a letter of
Support.
support, thank you. For us to keep the stair intact for its historic value.
Okay. So when you say intact, that means unchanged?
Yes, and
Yeah.
it's just, and let me just be clear on that. It's just not, I get the stair is the thing, but just big picture so you understand where we're coming from. This lobby, we're keeping all the wood trim. So this is, when you walk into the space, it's going to be very much like it was now. After we open after the renovation, it's going to be very similar to what exists now. That's what our goal is. And the variance that we need is on the stairs, as Josephine explained.
Okay. Does anyone on the committee have any questions or comments for the architects?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the floor plan, it appears that the main entry is the only entry for, I don't know, customers, for lack of a better term, users, whatever. It's, and it looks pretty much that pretty much the same dimensions as what exists now.
Mhm.
Is that correct?
Yes, one
Yeah.
thing I just want to add, and so right now when you, to get into the building, you have to go up a couple of stairs. That, we're going to change that. We're grading it so you don't have to go up any stairs to get in the building. So it's fully accessible.
Yeah, but the thing is, for me, and I don't know whether this opens up a whole new can of worms or something like that. Right now, anybody in a wheelchair or a walker is going to use, what appears on this floor plan to be the staff entry.
Yep.
The flat area, there's an accessible space right nearby. You go in and it's a wide space, and you can access everything so that anybody in a wheelchair would find, even with a level entry at the main entrance, would find it difficult to use. I'm concerned about that. Maybe
Well, it's
something.
fully accessible, right? So the entry itself is fully accessible. The space beside the stair is fully accessible, and that's the way people will be coming in. That meets all the codes, the footprint and all that stuff. That meets all the code. Once you get beyond the stair, the whole library opens up. I mean, you all have been in there many more times, and we've been in a lot, but I'm sure you've been in more. And it's a little bit of a pinch point, but it's existed for 100 years, and it does meet code for accessibility.
And Jim, it is a straight shot.
Yeah.
So, and right now there's the foyer, there's like a little airlock, but those doors are now going to be pinned open. So you don't have to worry about that. The doors have to stay for historic purposes, but somebody in a wheelchair or a walker or crutches, they're not going to have to deal with those doors anymore. So they're just going to walk in or wheel in, and it's a straight shot. And there is that hallway, although on this floor plan, it doesn't look very wide. It's plenty wide for two wheelchairs to come and go at the same time.
Really? How wide is it?
Off the top of my head, Josephine, do you know it's 6-7 feet, right? If not more.
I was guessing 7 to 8, but
Yeah, 7
somewhere
to
around
8.
there.
Yeah.
It's a little deceiving
like
because you see the
8?
landing at the top of the stairway that looks
where
like
are
the
we
hallway
here?
is narrow.
Right.
Can you zoom
right.
into that, Josephine,
Oh,
just
sure.
so folks can maybe see it a little easier?
I have a couple questions, but I'll wait.
If I could just follow up at least on this one point.
Sure.
You're talking about 84 to 96 inches or so?
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. Okay.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go
Other
ahead, Elise.
questions?
Go ahead, Elise.
Okay, I have, am I unmuted here?
Yep.
Yeah. I have a couple of questions about all right, we're talking about the entrance that's in the front, the very front entrance facing the street, not the
Yeah.
side entrance, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, and that has I never used that one for the reason that the door to that, if somebody, and this could happen even with a ramp, if the door opens out, and if somebody opens that door to come out, they can knock a person backwards if they're coming up. I'm a little bit concerned. I mean, I may not have the location correct. I don't
No,
know if I'm making sense.
you're
You
right.
do.
You're right, Elise. But now there won't be those stairs there anymore. So you'll
Right.
just be, it's just a straight shot, straight level.
Straight shot, you have to open the door.
Right,
But you'll be able to back up as somebody is leaving, and there's windows so you can see them
Are they
if you
low
have
enough?
sight. If you have
I don't
sight.
see here, I don't have 20/20, and
Right.
so the reason I don't use it is because even with a cane or a guide dog, the windows are not low enough so that somebody could see and register, oh, this woman can't see me coming out.
Sure. And because so the doors won't be lowered, but the ground will be raised. So
Right.
you will be able to see through better.
The window. The
Yeah.
windows will be,
Yeah.
the window of the door will be lower so that they can see enough of a person about to
The-
come in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm describing it well, but the ground is going to
Okay.
be raised. So it'll be like we're taller.
Okay, I'm just going by my vision issues, and that
Yeah.
is, but yeah, even so, even through a window, my personal issues, I can't see somebody behind a glass
Yeah.
door, but
Yeah.
if they could see me,
Yes.
then they won't knock me backwards,
Yes.
because I won't be able to back up.
Yes. Agreed.
And my other, all right, I have another question about the side entrance, but I know this has nothing to do with, I don't want to take up time with that. So,
Okay.
can I address that another time, maybe?
I'd like to follow up on Elisa's question. How wide is the outside? We went through this, but the little, what do we call it? Well, it's not a platform, but it's like a platform.
Landing?
Landing, thank you. How wide is that landing that's at the front entrance? Does it encompass the height, the lights on the side and everything?
Oh,
Or is
yeah,
it-
it's,
Okay.
Josephine, is it that entire width from each
I
of those
think-
bump outs?
Yeah, I think
the
Berkshire's
whole
design
thing, yeah.
encompasses the whole piece now. Yeah.
So there's
It's
like a
not-
little plaza there, so you're
Yeah.
not gonna have trouble
Yeah.
with traffic going in and out. Okay.
Right.
And we also
Oh.
talked at one point, you were gonna, excuse me, you were gonna maintain some steps. And we talked about how to let people know that they had gone down the steps. Or where the steps are. We talked about that, having some kind of a tactile marker.
Mhm.
Somebody wanted to put granite there and we said no. Because that's not the real way to demarcate that you're going on steps. So I want to make sure that you have that in your plan. Remember when we talked
Understood.
about that?
Yeah, I
The
do.
architect
Vaguely.
wanted to put
Yeah.
a granite strip and it would look pretty, but you're not gonna, that's not how people know when people are looking for footing with their feet, when they are looking for where the steps are, or if they don't know there are steps, there are certain things that tell us there are steps.
Sure.
And
Mhm.
it is not a strip of granite. So I want to make sure that somehow you incorporated that into the plan.
Yes.
You did.
If it, yes, it will, and it's been a while since we've been working on this, but it will be, if it's not there, it'll be done, because we did talk about it with the
Yeah.
landscape architect, yes.
Right, okay. So as long as, now that we're, last night, you got the final go-ahead to do this. So I hope that we can be in some way involved on a much more regular basis. Not that change orders are a bad word, but, I mean, we haven't gone through this. We went through it to some extent with a fine tooth comb because you asked us some questions and we answered those questions, but we didn't go through everything. So I want to make sure that everything that we did go through is actually incorporated into the plan. We talked about the back walkway, and snow and ice and knowing where that was, like there was a whole discussion about it. And I
Mhm.
just want to make sure that those things are incorporated into the plan. Now we can get back to the stairway. How do people feel about the stairway?
I think it reminds me of the request for a variance that we got from Amherst College and their building and that snazzy, I don't know, circular staircase or something. I mean, it's ornamental. Most people aren't going to use it. It has historical value. So, and there are lots of other alternatives. So why not? As long as there's some kind of adequate signage, I'm in favor of the variance.
With Jim.
And I
I'm
also
sorry, say that
agree.
again? What did you say,
I
Elise? You were
I
muffled.
agree. I have to agree with Jim.
Okay,
He couldn't have put it better.
okay.
And I'm also
I,
in agreement with keeping approving the variance, so.
Okay, and I am too. I wonder one thing. The only thing that concerns me that's really I mean, maybe it isn't. The only thing that concerns me about the safety issue is the lack of extension. But you can't extend it on the bottom because that's sort of the cool part because it's all curved, right?
Yeah, and it's the extension is, we have to be careful because there is an exception to the extensions when it impedes the flow of travel, right? Because you don't want to have an extension to get in the way when somebody's trying to get out of the building in an emergency. So
Right.
we have to be careful about putting those, and we wouldn't suggest it at that bottom corner because that would cause a little
It's
bit
a
of a
major path
problem.
of travel. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, got it. All right. I'm fine with it as well. As long as it's really clear to people who come into the library that that is functional in a pinch, but that it is not intended to be the main staircase. And I don't know how you do that visually. I don't know if you do it with signage. I don't know if you make something, I don't know how you make the new staircase, which isn't going to be, historical looking cool staircase, right? It's going to be like a plain old staircase, right?
The new one?
Yeah.
Yes. Good way to put it. Plain old staircase. Not very detailed, not, the communicating one will be nice, but they don't build things like they used to, because we can't, this historic stair, that's, why we want to keep it, because it's beautiful.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. It is one thing you could easily do to preserve the character of the building, as long as you don't have, some 7-year-old decide to go flying over the top, which I suspect they've had.
Mm-hmm.
And I met a kid who actually did that in his own house and ended up with brain damage. So, it's a real thing. Kids do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, so we have to write a letter in support of, in that application, there are lots and lots of code numbers that we have to approve your lack of compliance with, right?
Yeah.
Myra, this is Pamela. I think that we could just do a general letter of support for
Okay, so it
the
doesn't,
variance application. We don't have to mention all of the specific
we don't have
codes.
to, okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Because there's a lot of numbers in there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I think this is, we need a motion to support the request for the variance.
And I move that we support the request for variance at the Amherst Public Library with the proviso that there is adequate signage to ensure safety of use.
Perfect.
I'll second.
Perfect. Okay, if you're in favor, say yes.
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 Yes. And Pamela, I
Yes.
didn't hear. Okay. And there's nobody left to say no. So we're in support of your request for a variance. And this is very cool because it's actually gonna get done. I don't think they're gonna find a way to go to court. Maybe they will, who knows? I hope, God knows, I hope not.
Our fingers are
Um,
crossed.
Yeah. This is all right, so thank you very much, and I hope that if there are any, I think one thing that is yet to be decided for sure is colors, is that right? Because change orders aren't, I mean, I was on the high school building committee, we didn't decide the colors till close to the end. I assume that you didn't make those decisions yet?
There's a color scheme that's been approved. Yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah.
people with vision problems depend on color changes and color contrasts, especially in big open spaces, to find where they are.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
the gray rug with the gray with the gray furniture is like a disaster, correct, Elise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, color contrast. And even, I don't know, this is a lot to ask, but when you have stairs, having the edges of the stairs marked in another color contrast is also extremely helpful. The problem I have with the stairs you have now is there's no, if you don't have any depth perception like myself or have very little, you go flying.
Yeah, yeah,
You don't know where they begin or end.
yeah. No, that
I
makes
think it's in
sense.
the code that you have to have some kind of indicator upstairs,
Yeah,
right?
that would, I hope.
Mhm.
Do you not? I
Yeah,
mean, I
you do.
assume you do.
Ellen, you're
Then it has-
muted.
You do.
Ellen,
I
you're
feel
Like I'm
muted.
talking.
Yes, the materials are different from the stair than from the floor surface. So there is a
Yep.
change. There is a change, yes.
in
But
color
having the
as
stairs
well as
marked,
texture.
Yeah.
each
In
edge of
texture,
the
yes,
stair
but
marked.
just to clarify one thing that we do have a color, as Sharon said, we have a color palette, but once the bids come in, we'll see exactly what colors we get, right? So there's wiggle room on that, but the stairs are, yeah, they comply with code because the code is very specific about stairs.
As long as each edge is marked in some kind of contrasting color,
Mm-hmm,
that would really be, helpful,
mm-hmm.
kind of essential.
And your signage colors have been chosen and all that? Or,
So-
okay, because,
The color scheme, yes. And that meets code because it's very strict for the signage.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, it's very, the level of contrast is very
Yes.
strict.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But,
Okay.
for example, if you put if, let's say your wall is beige, I mean, I don't know, what color are your walls mostly gonna be?
There'll be a lighter tone, yes.
Okay,
They have
Lighter
a
so
tone.
if the
darker.
wall is beige, the sign, the back of the sign, not the lettering, the sign has to be a lot different from beige.
Mhm.
So the sign itself, the rule says if it has to have a certain amount of contrast in the sign, but does it say that the sign itself against the background has to be in contrast?
I would have to double check that, but I can tell you this. The signs are to inform people. We're not trying to hide the signs, right? So we want people to see the signs. So
Yeah.
that's taken into account on the signage, and we actually have a sign consultant specific. So it's not,
Okay.
it's just,
Okay,
it's very thought through.
okay, as
And you
long
want-
as it's thought through by people with low vision, instead of
Right.
thought through by people who
Thank
read a
you.
code and said, well, that looks okay to me, it complies with the code.
Mhm.
Um,
Understood.
So,
And the font has to be clear and large enough also.
Mhm.
and the thing is, there are lots of people with low vision, the older people get. Many people have lower vision, and they need everything that complies with the AAB code isn't optimal for what people actually want. And obviously that's true. I'm sure that's true for Jim as well with a wheelchair. But there are certain things you can't change, like topography, and certain things you can't change. But the color of the sign against the wall, the color of the rug against the wall, the color of the rug when you switch to a different location can be changed. And that's not in the code.
Understood.
So, I mean, I'll just say it I guess I don't know that I've said it to this group, but when I went in my large public high school, the way I found the classrooms that I had to find, because I could never see the numbers on them, was the left side of the hall alternated gray and green floors. One room would have gray, one room would have green, and the right side of the hall alternated dark brown and beige floors. And if I knew that I was walking down this large, long hallway that had 14 classrooms on it, I knew that I had to have a dark brown one and a green one. And that was incredibly helpful to me. Nobody else would have noticed it.
Mm,
Mhm.
mm,
So what I'm saying is what's really helpful sometimes to people isn't in the code.
mm,
Um,
Mm-mm.
so that's why I think when, when the bids come in, they don't charge more for blue than for gray unless there's a fire sale on gray, right?
Fire sale, I agree.
So I guess that's what I'm saying is that not everything that complies with the code is actually helpful when
Mhm.
it could be easily done a different way.
Yeah.
So I hope you'll come
Understood.
back when you have finishes to talk about, because that does make a huge difference in the use of the building. And Elise won't be on the commission anymore at that point, but we're going to make her come back if you want to come to that meeting,
Yeah,
because
I
she's
can-
going to have,
I can come back because
whoops, you disappeared again.
wait a minute. I do go in there all the time, and I don't know whether I can do this now or another time, but I do have a concern about the side entrance, the doors on the side entrance of the library. You know, when you go all the way down near where the driveway is.
That's not going to be a public entrance anymore.
Oh, it won't.
Yeah, no, everybody will go through the front door.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you for clarifying that.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Okay.
I just really want to thank all of you for taking the time. This is to be able to look at this building through your eyes, your point of view, your experiences really matter. And the time that you have put into this project over the years is important. And I really appreciate that. And future generations of library users appreciate it. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Well,
We agree.
Yeah, there were 3 people from this committee way back who applied to be on the building committee, and all of them were denied. So I think
Ah.
that's unfortunate.
Okay. Okay.
That's unfortunate, and we did bring it up, but it didn't matter. So I don't know who, I guess you didn't appoint the people, but whoever did. Yeah. Anyway,
Thank you
I
for
was
your-
I was
thanks
not
for
one
your
of those
time.
people. It's not about me. There were 3
That's-
other people.
I was one of them. That's all right.
Oh,
It's a while
Okay.
ago.
Okay, all right. So thank you for bringing this to us. We will get a letter out.
Thank you.
And
And Pamela,
Oh.
let us know if you want help with that, because you've got a million other things that you've got on your plate. Whatever we can do to help with the letter.
Thanks. So I was actually going to ask Myra before we adjourn, do you want me to draft it or would you like to draft it? I can pull out one of our prior
well,
variants.
if you have one, yeah, and you can just say we approve of the request. Yeah, I mean, if
Okay.
it's sort of boilerplate and it won't take you more than half an hour, that would be great.
All right, then
Um,
I will take care of that.
You are the secretary after all.
Exactly. Yes, don't
The
remind
job
me.
nobody wants.
I know.
All right,
Okay,
so we
thank
need a
you.
motion to adjourn.
Right.
Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
all.
Motion
Thank
to
you.
adjourn.
Okay. I move we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, everyone who doesn't want to adjourn, say yes. Okay, we're adjourned.
All
All
right.
right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Okay,
Right.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks, Elise.